Did you know there is a motel room in the Arizona desert where 6 people vanished without a trace, and every surviving witness claimed they saw eyes staring at them from inside the walls? This is the full case of Room 19, one of the most disturbing and unsolved disappearance clusters in American history. For more than 2 decades, strange noises, missing guests, and impossible physical evidence haunted the Sunset Vista Lodge. And even though the building has been demolished, some people believe whatever lived behind those walls never left. Sunset Vista Lodge sat alone off Highway 64, halfway between Flagstaff and the Grand Canyon. Built in 1972 by 2 brothers, Ron and Will Harding, it was meant to be a quiet roadside stop. But just 9 months after the motel opened, both brothers died in a strange accident. According to reports, they fell into an unfinished ventilation shaft. But the shaft was far too narrow for 2 grown men to fall into together. Their deaths were ruled accidental, yet locals whispered that one of the brothers had a habit of keeping a mentally disturbed relative locked inside the walls. No official documents ever confirmed this, but the rumors persisted, especially after guests started to complain about hearing someone breathing behind the plaster. The first disappearance happened in 1997. Eleanor Brooks, a 22-year-old student, checked into room 19 shortly after sunset. When she picked up her key, she asked the motel owner a strange question. "Are the walls thin?" He remembered the way she looked over her shoulder, as if she already heard something. Security footage captured her walking down the hall toward her room. She reached for the doorknob, and right as her fingers touched it, the camera cut to static. Not for minutes, not for seconds, but for a single, jarring instant right before she entered. When housekeeping opened the room the next morning, Eleanor's belongings were inside, but she was gone. The bedsheets were wet, though the air conditioner wasn't running, and long wet streaks covered the mirror, as if something had dragged its fingers across the glass. Her disappearance remained unsolved for 6 years. In 2003, a married couple, Melissa and David Harper, checked into the motel during a thunderstorm. At 1:17 a.m., Melissa called the front desk in a whisper. She said someone was breathing inside the ventilation system. The clerk arrived just 2 minutes later. The room was empty. There were no signs of a struggle. But the wallpaper bulged slightly in certain areas, as if something solid was moving beneath it. Behind the wall, in the narrow maintenance tunnel, police found scratches made by human fingernails, a few strands of Melissa's hair, and a message written in dust. "Stay quiet. He's listening." The dust layer suggested the writing was recent. But the crawlspace was too narrow for any adult to enter. The Harpers vanished just like Eleanor, no traces, no logical explanation. The car remained in the parking lot, locked from the inside. Rumors spread quickly. Staff reported hearing footsteps inside the walls. Others heard someone whispering their names when they were alone. One housekeeper quit after hearing a man's voice behind her say, "I know you're here," despite the room being empty. After several complaints, the owner closed room 19 to guests, but the noises continued. Sometimes late at night, workers claimed they heard something run across the inside of the wall, stopping suddenly as if listening through the plaster. In 2011, the motel was sold to a new owner who wanted to renovate everything, including room 19. Construction crews immediately experienced problems. Tools disappeared and reappeared in impossible places. Wet footprints appeared on dry concrete. Radios with no batteries began playing static mixed with faint whispering. One worker, electrician Rodrigo Alvarez, quit after tearing open part of the drywall and seeing what he described as a face staring back at him, pale, wet, and with enormous, unblinking eyes. By the time he called others over, the space behind the wall was empty. Despite the incidents, the new owner reopened room 19 to the public. Within 3 years, it claimed more victims. In 2014, 3 teenagers, Wes Mora, Brandon Kerr, and Kayla Jessup, broke into room 19 as part of a paranormal challenge. Their phones recorded everything. The audio is chilling. Kayla asks why the wallpaper seems to be moving. Lace says someone might be behind it. Brandon mentions hearing dripping water, though nothing in the room was leaking. On the recording, droplets begin falling slowly at first, then rhythmically, as if something was crawling across the ceiling and water dripped from its body. Then the scraping begins. Something sharp dragging along the inside of the wall, circling them. A phone drops. Footsteps. A wet dragging sound. And then silence. Lois was found wandering the desert hours later, sunburned and confused, repeating the same line. Don't look at the walls. They looked back. He never spoke again about what happened. Kayla and Brandon were never found. The last known incident occurred in 2019. Hannah Cole, a traveling nurse, checked into room 19 for one night. At 3:04 a.m., she texted her sister, "Why is there a man under the bed?" But the bed was bolted to the floor. Police found only her phone on the carpet and a fresh, wet handprint on the ceiling, 3 meters above the ground. Forensic tests confirmed the print belonged to Hannah. Her last voicemail contained her whispering, "He keeps asking if he can come out, but I don't know where he is." A second voice, low and gurgling, replies, "Turn around." Then a scream. Then nothing. Hannah's body was never recovered. After that, the motel was permanently closed. Investigators tried to explain the phenomenon. Some suggested old tunnels beneath the motel allowed someone to move unseen. Others believed the structure created acoustic illusions. But none of those theories explain the vanished bodies, the ceiling handprint, or the voice recordings. The darkest theory came from locals who remembered the Harding brothers. They spoke of a third sibling, a man never listed in public records. According to old rumors, he was mentally unstable and violently aggressive. The brothers supposedly kept him hidden inside the walls, feeding him through a narrow slot. When they died, the rumor claimed he didn't die with them. He adapted to living in the ventilation system, learning to move silently, learning to listen. They called him the Watcher, a creature shaped like a human, but too thin, too pale, too patient. A being that fed on fear, on attention, on the moment someone realized they were not alone. In 2021, the motel was demolished. But even then, workers reported hearing breathing inside the exposed walls. One man claimed he saw a bare foot retract into the insulation. And the night before demolition, the security log recorded one final check-in. A guest entered their name under room 19, even though the room no longer existed. No key was taken. No person was seen. After the demolition, strange reports began spreading across nearby towns. People heard scratching inside their homes, whispers through electrical outlets, soft footsteps in the walls at night. All from residents who had recently driven past the empty lot where the motel once stood. Some said they noticed a long, dark crack in the earth at the demolition site, as if something had burrowed downward. A few claimed they saw eyes inside the crack, large, wet, unblinking. Whatever lived inside room 19 may not have died with the building. It may have simply moved into newer, larger walls, homes, offices, apartments, anywhere someone might sit quietly long enough for it to listen. And the strangest part? Phones near the demolition site occasionally received missed calls from a single digit, a number that shouldn't exist. 19. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more strange cases. Stay safe out there.